welcome to tonight's destination with the Fun Chasers, the show where we explore affordable travel, hidden gems, unforgettable destinations, and the stories that make every trip an adventure.
Each week we take you somewhere new to help you travel more, spend less, and find your reason to go pack your bag.
Joining us tonight is Jenny Webb, owner of the Legends of Country Music Museum in Nashville. Jenny has called Nashville home for more than 30 years. Her connection to the museum runs even deeper. Her family has been part of its story for more than 15 years. Jenny and her husband and her mom took over just recently as owners, just last year, when it was rebranded as the Legends of Country Music Museum. So what started years ago with a handshake and a friendship with Willie Nelson, and that sounds like a story, has grown into one of Nashville's best affordable hidden gems, featuring over 4,500 square feet of memorabilia and stories from more than 40 legendary artists. At just $12.95 a ticket, it's one of the best values in Music City, and they're constantly adding new exhibits, including guided tours led by a guitar-playing tour guide. Jenny's here tonight. Hi, Jenny, to tell us all about it, along with some of her favorite affordable hidden gems in Nashville's Music Valley area. Wow, you were telling me some awesome stories right before we went on the air about Willie Nelson and Randy Travis and some of their bands. You sound like you know everything there is to know about Music Valley, Jenny. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about your museum and store first.
Well, the museum was the original family. The Oakley family was very close friends with Farron Young, and they said, Farron, we want to do a museum on you. They had a frame shop, and they decided they wanted to go into a museum because they were already framing things and showcasing things for people. And Farron said, oh, thank you, I'm flattered, but you've got to meet this young man named Willie. He's new to town. He just wrote me this song, Hello Walls, Hello Commode, Hello Ceiling. It's silly. It's already doing great, and you really need to meet him. He's going to be who you want to do your museum on. So fast forward, they all were friends in this Nashville's big yet small, still is to this day. And they said, Willie, we heard that we're supposed to do our museum on you. We have this dream to have a museum, and we heard we need to do it on you. And Willie said, that sounds great. And they shook hands and they became best friends. And over the last 45 years, Willie would say, give it to the Oakleys, give it to the Oakleys. And
that's so cool.
Everyone he had friendships with, they all had friendships with Jeannie Seeley and Dottie West and Shelley West and David Frizzell and Lefty Frizzell and Patsy Cline and Porter Wagner. And as all of these friendships were organically happening, they'd say, well, let's put it with Willie stuff. So it became Willie Nelson and Friends. And for years and years, it just showcased some of the coolest people in country music history and their memorabilia and their stories coming from their genuine friends who love to showcase it, love to give tours, and love to tell all the behind the scenes fun stories about why each one of these people is wonderful. So it's not just here's their nudie suit, but let me tell you what our friendship was like and why they were an awesome part of country music history and the Nashville culture. So I have learned all those stories through that family, and I have given my word that I would keep these stories going for generations to come.
That's awesome.
That is beautiful.
That's awesome. You were telling me right before we went on the air about a young man that you met yesterday. Like yesterday, the day before, recently.
2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me all about Mr. Randy Travis.
So we are so grateful to be next door to the Nashville Palace. They are wonderful neighbors, and they have wonderful music, wonderful food, line dancing. They have history that goes back further than we do in the Music Valley area. They were the family that helped create what Music Valley is today. And Randy Travis was their dishwasher many years ago, and he was discovered, so to speak, out of the palace. So he came back, and they dedicated their front room to Randy. So I highly recommend anyone who's a Randy fan to go to the front room at the palace and take it all in, walk through it. you're going to hear some amazing music anyways and have some great food, great beer, great service. But you can stand in the history and all the pictures of Randy when he was there and his career since then. So we had the honor of Tess Frizzell, the granddaughter of Dottie West. She is an artist and she painted all of the photos that are on the front of our building. So we asked her to paint a Randy Travis because we knew he was going to be next door. So we were lucky enough that he came up on our porch to see his portrait that we had just put up from Tess. And he took a picture with me and my team. He was lovely. He smiled ear to ear. He loved the picture. I hope that one day soon we can honor him in our museum as well. But just a few weeks ago, we were lucky enough just to tag along to our wonderful neighbors next door's event for him.
Oh my God, Jenny, that's amazing.
That's crazy. I wonder if I went to the Nashville Palace if they'd let me wash dishes.
Probably. Yeah. So
Post Malone stopped in recently and got a beer. You just never know who's going to stop in. It's there's not many things in Nashville that truly are still around from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, and Music Valley is, and it's a lot of the same families and a lot of the same four walls. And so a lot of people, you never know who's going to stop by, right? Because they want to be a part of it too. They want to see the history.
And that was part of the charm of Nashville, is still part of the charm. I mean, you can go downtown on Broadway now, totally different vibe. Totally different vibe. But if you go downtown on Broadway, you can bump into people that are potentially famous. But at your place and the Nashville Palace and then the Dukes of Hazzard Museum right next door, it's a lot more intimate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Next door to our right, the Dukes of Hazzard Museum, we love being neighbors with them as well. That show and that history goes back, and they had a lot of country music, songs or people in it. They have some of their actors from the show that still come and do autographs and take pictures. Wade Jennings was there not too long ago doing interviews and taking pictures. So we're lucky to have cool neighbors on both sides.
You really are.
It is.
I spent hours there. Now, I was telling you, he's the shopper when we go out. He's the one. He's got the T-shirt to prove it, right?
T-shirt to prove it. Yeah, from the Legends of Country Music Souvenirs shop.
That's right.
Best doggone souvenirs in Nashville.
And it was such a cool place. And you're right. Right next door they've even got the General Lee parked out front, and that is cool. So a kid from the 70s. I grew up with Daisy Dukes, Yeah. That's the way it is. I'm old now, but I wasn't always. But it was a lot of fun to go in there and see all that stuff. And it was kind of neat because my parents were, the epitome of country music fans,
Oh yeah. Hank Williams.
My mother listened to Hank Williams Senior,
not Junior,
as if it was her job. Okay. That's just the way it was. And you still hear those songs, and it brings back, it floods the memories. And so seeing the Dukes of Hazzard right there too, in addition to your place, it was just like I was a kid again, and it was the best feeling, Jenny. Seriously, it was just so much fun. So I was excited about it. All right, I digress. Sorry, I do this a lot.
And you guys are next door. And people might almost miss you, but you're right on. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but McGavick Boulevard, right?
McGavick Pike, across the street from the Opryland Hotel, another one of my favorites to walk through. That's affordable, just to park your car either with us and walk over, or park at the movie theater and walk in, take your picture in front of the Grand Ole Opry. I just love that whole area, and it's right across the street.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And I just want to make sure that if people going to the Grand Ole Opry or for a show realize that if they just take 5 minutes before the show or an hour or 2 hours before their show, they're really going to get their money's worth by visiting the Legends of Country Music and the Dukes of Hazzard and the Nashville Palace. And one of the places that I liked was I think it's the Caney Fork River. I mean, I never was in a restaurant that had a bass.
Yes.
Trout
Trout stream.
Trout stream in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. They have a s'mores that you can make at the table at the end of your meal. My kids love that. They're a family owned and operated as well. Been around Music Valley forever, so that's another great one too. And we have this great dinner theater that's behind us as well, next to the best little coffee shop called Nashville Coffees. They have memorabilia on their walls in the coffee shop, and the theater is just been taken over by Todd Herendine, and he has the best show, and they do a dinner show, and it's great. I love it.
That sounds like fun.
It does.
So, a lot of people think of Nashville, they think of Broadway. Obviously, you go downtown, you see all the glitz and the glamour and the neon. Tell us what sets Music Valley apart, because like John said a minute ago, you guys are literally across the street from the entrance to the Grand Ole Opry Hotel, and it leads you to the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, you're like a 10-minute walk. It's right there, So what sets you guys apart from downtown?
Well, free parking.
There you go, bonus.
But I don't know if you remember, we had the Opryland theme park that used to be where the mall is. And that is why all of that exists in Music Valley that we've been talking about, with the dinner theater and the Troubadour and the nightlife and the Music City Bar and Grill and the Nashville Palace and the Caney Fork and Dukes of Hazzard and all in the liquor store. We didn't even talk about the liquor store. They carry all of the liquors from all of the different country artists. They do great specials.
Really?
They've been there forever. That family's friends with everybody. There's just really cool people, really good stories, a lot of history, but it all was built because the theme park was right across the street. So the hotel was built, you had the theme park, and then all of us existed across the street as a complement onto this giant theme park, pre-Dollywood, all of that.
That's so cool.
When the theme park closed, the family that owns all the land, and most of it I've read the book and heard the stories. They're lovely. And they talk about how hard it was when the theme park closed, just businesses just tanked. Yeah. Nobody was coming there. And now you had businesses building downtown instead. Right. So as downtown grew, Music Valley died. But it's a lot of the same families that stuck in there. They've been smart. They've been genuine. They're all been friends forever. They have the backing of all the classic country artists that would all come there and still support it. Jeannie Seely has a booth at Santa Fe. Willie Nelson has a booth at Texas Roadhouse. It's just... nothing could break the spirit of Music Valley, even though we didn't have the giant theme park. And then you have the new energy with people like me or the people like Todd at the theater. You have this new energy that we appreciate the history. We want to be part of it. We're blessed to be part of it. And theme park or no theme park, we're just dedicated to sharing what makes us so special. And everybody is dedicated to keeping our prices as low as we can, so that it can be somewhere that families can come, people on a budget can come, all ages can come. There's free parking. We're all handicap accessible. Downtown is cool, and it's got its, cool things, but it's just a lot more expensive, a lot harder to get to everything. And we just feel we're special because of all the things I just said. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'll tell you, we were there, and we were there for 5 days or so, and it was great. We loved downtown Nashville. Absolutely. Yeah. It was fantastic. It was exciting, and it was upbeat, and you could just feel the electricity of the city, right? But when I finally got back out to Music Valley, it was like,
it's not as crowded.
I can take a breath, and I don't have to be watching nonstop all the time and run. It was just so much. I felt good. I felt better out there.
The traffic was lighter because we did have our car
driving.
We were driving, so the traffic was lighter. We appreciated the free parking, and you didn't have people, running past you, pushing and shoving, kind of like you have on Broadway. I mean, you go down Broadway on a Friday night, good luck. You're liable to get some of those cowboy boots in the head there that are in such a rush to get to the next part. But so a little slower pace, but no, by no means any. There's a lot of action going on there. A lot of action going on there. A lot of fun stuff happening without all the drama. Let's put it that way.
All right, let's change gears a little bit. Let's go back to your museum. Back to the museum. What's one of the most popular exhibits in the museum?
Well, Waylon's exhibit has always attracted people. Waylon is so iconic, and we have one of his black and white flowered guitars that was in the opening scene of Dukes of Hazzard. So people love that. There we have Hank Williams Jr.'s truck that he had custom built in 1986. It has tubes that go from a liquor bottle in the back seat to the front seat. Instead of a console in the middle, it's a Coleman cooler. He had his signature put on it, Bocephus on the back. And rumor is he lost it 2 years. He only drove it for like 2 years and lost it in a gambling situation. So it sat in a car collector's garage for many years until my husband and I figured out how to get it in there when we took over last year. But that to me is just so cool. You can feel Hank when you look at it. You know, love when his songs come on when I'm back there looking at it. I just, since Willie started our museum, it just feels like we lean into the outlaws, and outlaw country was such a big deal. And so when you see him with his tubes coming out of a liquor bottle that had to be in the truck while he's driving, it's like, okay, that tracks. And then we have Willie's picture of him, his debut at the Grand Ole Opry, and it's a picture of him wearing a suit, and he had to cut his hair. And then we have the guitar that he used, the microphone stand he was using, and the paycheck they gave him. And he talks about that moment. In one of his books, he talks about that moment of like, I hated it. I didn't want to sign with anyone in Nashville. I want to wear my hair how I want. I want to wear what I want. I want to sing what I want. And he just, kicking off that outlaw country movement and going back to do the Texas, California circuit, and with the likes of Willie and Waylon and Chris and Hank, and just we love that we represent that time, and those are some of my favorite things in there.
I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
My other favorite things would be, the female trailblazers. So Dottie West, she had Willie and Chris over for dinner and heard them write a song. And when they left, she said, I can do this. And she sat down and wrote a song and was the first female to win a Grammy. So she trailblazed songwriting for all females of country music, females in general. And it's just so cool. And getting to know her daughter and her granddaughter, and that whole family has just been so amazing. And the stories go on. And we try to bring that to life at the museum. And then across the way, you have Jeannie Seeley, who performed more on the Grand Ole Opry stage than anyone. She's the reason we have a female announcer. She's the reason we have an American flag on the stage. She's the reason women started wearing dresses and miniskirts. She is just one of the coolest ladies that I got to meet and have gotten to learn about. And I am just proud to have her showcase there as well. So I love all of the stories that are behind the cases that we have. So the family that built Music City that I was referring to earlier, with the Hobbs family and the Rudy family building up Music Valley when the theme park was across the street, the Wax Museum was where the golf store is. They had a Charlie Daniels Museum, and then our museum was the Marty Robbins Museum. So back in the back where you watch the Tootsie's DVD, you can still see Marty's pictures we left up on the wall. And so it was Marty Robbins cases that we use to this day. So when the Oakley family started the Willie Museum off the Handshake, it was a frame shop in Madison, Tennessee. It moved to Music Row, and then Conway Twitty asked them to go out to Twitty City. So it moved out to Twitty City in the 90s. In 92, when we went out to help Willie with the IRS tapes and to help with selling that and doing the Branson show, the Oakley family went out and did that with him. That's when we got his recording studio furniture, his Domino's table, his pool table, and they needed more space. So that's how we got to Music Valley in 92, was because they needed more space for all of the things that came about their time with Willie in 92.
Wow. Isn't that crazy? I love it. The people
who have sat on these couches that are in the museum are presidents, rock and roll stars. I mean, you can read about it in Willie's book. He talks very fondly about his playback studio furniture at his Pedernales Ranch. And so it's really cool. I can like envision, all these people sitting there and hanging out. And Willie's a really cool guy, and he has a lot of friends. And I am just honored that I get to talk about him in my tours every day.
That is fun.
Yeah. Willie is a cool guy. I like Willie a lot.
Absolutely.
So you kind of covered this, but I'll ask you again. Maybe you can come up with another one. Is there a favorite must see? I mean, other than Willie's couches and that stuff.
Yeah. What's something that somebody going through might miss?
So when you're leaving the museum, on the back wall, we have a lot of photographs of a lot of the classic country artists from where our former owner, the Oakley family, both Frank and the son, Mark, they both were photographers. So every picture you see in the museum was them at concerts, backstages with these artists. So all of our photographs are just genuine from the family that created all of this. And right in the middle of all the pictures as you're leaving is a wooden circle. And that is the wooden circle that they cut out of the Grand Ole Opry to put the piece from the Ryman into the Opry when it moved out to Music Valley.
Oh, kidding.
So it got cut out of the ground and just wheeled over to the side for the actual circle to be there that everybody knows and loves and talks about. So as it got wheeled over to the side, anybody who was there over the course of that few weeks, months, whatever it was, they signed it. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's Jeff Foxworthy signature. That's Shenandoah. That's, it's just got a lot of random cool signatures on it of just who happened to be at the Opry when that circle was actually cut out and moved. So it's like we have the little cousin or the little sister or something on our wall.
That is amazing. That is a hidden gem.
Very cool.
It's random. It's very random and a very hidden gem.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my
I like
God.
it. Yeah, that is
fantastic.
That is the definition of a hidden gem.
So part of our gig with our channel here is budget and family friendly and affordable and stuff. And what we said when we first came on was that tickets to your museum are only $12.95 a person. What does that work out, John?
I did it real quick in my head, and it was like less than 33 cents per artist. I mean, come on.
And
really?
you know what? I just added T.G. Shepherd, Kelly Lang, and John Barry a few weeks ago. We did CMA Fanfare, and they did their fan meet and greet, and I added them in. And then we're adding Johnny Paycheck next fall on the met with his son, and we're going to do a whole thing of the anniversary of Take This Job and Shove It.
Cool.
And we're working on Hee Haw. I've made friends with people who have a lot of Hee Haw stuff, and we're going to incorporate that into the movie section. So it's just, you never know. Like, you did the math for the 40 that we say on our marketing. But I'm like, wait a minute, at this point, it's at least 43, 44. And by next month, it's going to be 45. And then by the time we get Lulu in there. So, yeah.
It'll be down to like 15 cents a star.
Wow, it just keeps, this literally keeps getting better and better. You're counting pennies like I do. Right. This is a deal.
Great.
Some people spend hours back there. There's a Highwayman movie that I found in the office that I stuck in the DVD player. Like, what is this movie? It doesn't have a name on it. It doesn't have a case. And it is just a home video of the Highwaymen, how they got to be, why they were together for those few weeks to make music. They all had to get back to their respective lives and tours. But Johnny's wife tells the story of how it came to be, and they're talking crap to each other. They get down and do push-ups. They're arguing politics. It's a great video. And then we have another video of when Tootsie passed from Tootsie's Downtown, where a lot of these artists, their stories come from, their songs come from. When she passed, Willie and Chris Christopherson filmed a video with a lot of their country music friends. Half of it was filmed in our museum and the other half was filmed inside Tootsie's. So we play that DVD as well. And then we have an iconic Women of Country for a few more months till it switches over to Hee Haw. So people could spend all day there if they wanted. reading everything and watching the movies. So it really, then your value gets even better when you think about it that way.
It is. Wow.
So that was actually going to be what I was going to ask you next. How much time should people actually plan to spend there? And, up to 3 hours, sure. But I mean, realistically, how long?
I'd say an hour or two is plenty for the average person. Some people just want to see the dolly dresses, the wailing guitar, and take a picture in front of Hank's truck. And they're in and out in 10, 15 minutes, and they're happy as clams. And then some people, like I said, want to watch all 3 videos, and they're back there. You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot you were here. Like, you got here when I opened this morning. Aren't you hungry for lunch? Like, you've been here 6 hours. So, and then a lot of people, it's 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours.
Well, there was a good bit to see. So, you do want to take your time and make sure you see it all. So that part's cool.
Well, it's kind of neat, though, because, you can get in there and do a hit and run if you're looking to. Some of these people go on vacation and they got to be here. They got to be there. They got to be here. They got it all. They got their itinerary and it's all scheduled out. And this plays to that. But if you're like people like Pam and I, no particular place to be, no one to answer to. Yeah, we might just put our feet up and sit back and take in a DVD or two and enjoy the history of country music. Right there on the spot. Why rush? Might bring my own ice cream is what I might do next time.
Don't do that. God. You'd never get them out. So,
hey, selling ice cream is on our list. We're going to figure out how to have ice cream.
Oh, wow. There you go. You got me.
I got to figure one of them out. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say that this is probably a pretty good rainy day activity, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. And free parking and free for kids. And we have a senior discount, a military discount, a teacher discount. Yeah.
See, it does get cheaper and cheaper.
Your discount. They're going to be paying me before this thing's over. Wow.
Keep dreaming. Is there anything else nearby that you might recommend? I know we already talked about a number, like the Nashville Palace and the Dukes of Hazzard Museum. But like I said, we're right across the street from the Grand Ole Opry. Are there any other places in Music Valley that people should see and maybe not want to miss?
I always recommend, if you're looking for a good meal, Santa Fe Cattle Company. They do a great job. It's also family owned and operated. It's been around forever. They take pride in their food, pride in their service. I personally think they have the best chicken tenders and homemade sauces and dressings in town. So I always love to send people there. I love the Troubadour. Mm-hmm. Wicked Ollie's is a store in the strip mall behind us that still has Ernest Tubbs' bus inside this really cool vintage store. So all the shops behind us, you could walk through the Troubadour and Wicked Ollie's and the Catio. You could let cats crawl on you and play with them. It's a nonprofit. It's fantastic. Kids love that too. Nashville Coffees, like I said, it's a must stop. The theater, if you can catch one of Todd's shows, you won't regret it. It is just like ours. You can break down the value to cents. It's such a good value for what you see in that show. The Palace, Dukes of Hazzard, Grand Ole Opry.
Fun stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that'll fill a couple days. Now, one thing that I was really blown away to learn is just how much music actually comes out of Nashville, because people just automatically think country music. But, when we took that Old Town trolley up Music Row, and it's like anything that happens from Broadway to rock and roll, rap, hip hop, those songwriters, a lot of them came right out of they have these little meetings of like 4 people get together and they'll do a writer's round. Do they do any of that sort of thing in Music Valley, where they get like 4 guys get together and they work out their songs and lyrics?
Could be girls too, by the way.
Could be.
Yes, the Palace next door does a good writer's round. If you look at their website or their socials, they talk about their writer's round. They do that. And Nashville Coffees, they have a stage and they do a little bit of that as well, especially on the weekends. Speaking of the trolley, The Old Town Trolley, I adore them because I feel we have the same mission. They are historic tours of America and they are storytellers, and they are family owned and operated, and they hire friendly people. And we have just connected with them and have loved sending people to them and them sending people to us, so much that we partnered with them and opened a store over in Marathon Village earlier this year called Nashville Tradition. We tried to bring to life. I know. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, well, that's
Cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Marathon Motor Works, and it has a free car museum inside the building, and all the hallways are lined with car parts and the history of the cars, of the Marathon cars. I don't know if you stopped there on your Old Town Trolley tour.
We did.
Around. So we opened a store in partnership with the trolley called Nashville Tradition, where we tried to tell people about the museum on that side of town. Was the first reason why I wanted to do it. And then secondly, Nashville Tradition has always been our corporate name, but we've never used it. So it just felt right, like we were meant to do something with it. So when you go into our store over there, you're going to see Pancake Pantry things and Bluebird Cafe. And that's what made me think of it when you said Writers Round. I just went to the Bluebird for the first time, and it was incredible, and the best place in town to see a Writers Round. So we have a Pancake Pantry section, a Bluebird Cafe, a Parthenon, a Grand Ole Opry, a Ryman, a Goo Goo Clusters, and then we have little plaques telling the history of each thing and what makes them so special. And like, if you have more time, I would go downtown and make yourself your own Goo Goo. So we're just trying to bring. Yes, isn't it so fun?
We did that.
So just trying to bring to life what makes Nashville special. And for those of us who've been here 30 plus years, you know, we've seen it's been special this whole time. It's not just special with the honky tonks downtown, which are so fun, love it, but Nashville's been really special for a long time, with Goo Goo being the first combination chocolate in the world, and the Grand Ole Opry being the longest, oldest radio station, and just the history of all music, to your point. The African American Music Museum downtown is fantastic. The Gospel Museum, gospel music came out. It was called Printer's Alley because the music was printed here, not because we sang here first. So the history just goes on in this city.
I did love that. We made our own Goo Goo cluster, and it was awesome. It was really early in the morning, and we ate it anyway because we're adults.
Delicious.
We're adults, and we can do that. But yeah,
we fun tasters, and that is so much fun.
Exactly, chocolate for breakfast. What the heck?
Yep.
And then we got to see the Johnny Cash Museum, which was just blew me away.
Fantastic.
So, like I said early on, my mom was a big Hank Sr. fan. And so, you know, when I was 10, it was like, dear God, do I have to listen to this anymore? And then when she'd take that music out and she'd put Johnny Cash in, and I was like, it wasn't until I got a lot older that I really started to appreciate his music a lot. And it's, I was blown away by that museum. I just really loved it. And I have fallen in love all over again with Johnny Cash music, but that's another story entirely. But yeah, our biggest thing that we didn't get to see was Printer's Alley, and it's just because we ran out of time. But next time I come back, I get to go there, so that's already that's going to be at the top of the list. But we loved the Parthenon, and what was it? Marathon Motors. I don't know what he's doing back there. What are you doing?
I just want to. We did get that one, and these guys, we made all the rounds.
Nice.
Most of all, yeah, right there. That's the one that really matters. For under, at least new math, 29 cents an artist. So the big value one right here.
My God.
You know, the Johnny Cash Museum used to also be the Patsy Cline Museum.
Oh, really?
And And the Patsy Cline Museum closed last year, and I got to know her daughter. Julie is just lovely. And so we have all of the merch that was in their gift shop there.
Oh,
so when you come into our museum, we do have a Patsy case in the back that's been there since her friendship with Willie way back when. But now in the gift shop, we have a whole section of T-shirts and tank tops and stickers and mugs and just all sorts of Patsy Cline stuff that you can't find anywhere else, because it was Patsy and Julie's friendship with the Oakleys that made her come talk to us about it. And now we carry the Patsy merch. So, and then we sell a lot of Johnny shirts too. We love Johnny Cash very much. And we have one of his jackets with our Highwaymen display, and we love Johnny and Patsy very much. And
I love the Patsy Cline story. The Patsy Cline story where Willie Nelson had written lyrics to a song called "Stupid," and all she did was change one word and change "stupid" to "crazy," and the rest is history.
We tell that story on our tour as well.
Bill.
Yeah, you tell that.
When we're in our Willie section and we're telling the story of Willie and being in Nashville, Willie was friends with Charlie Dick, Patsy's husband. And when we stand in front of our Tootsie's display and we have an original Tootsie's booth, and her outfit and her whistle she would blow at the end of the night, and her hat pin from Charlie Pride, she would poke the drunks. And so when we stand in front of that case and tell that story, we say, well, there's a lot of good stories that come out of Tootsie's. One of them being when Charlie Dick said to Willie, I've got to give Patsy another hit, her next hit. She's ready for it. And Willie said, well, I have a great song. And he said, well, let's get in the car and go there. And Willie said, it's 1 a.m. I'm drunk. I'm not going there. And Willie tells the story, which we repeat now, that Charlie said, no, get in the car. They drive. Patsy comes out of the house in her robe, says, Willie, come in. It's okay. She pours a pot of tea. And she says, sing me this song. And he says, stupid, and sing stupid. And she's like, yeah, I can't do that. And he said, but you're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to make it your own. In which case she makes it her own. So crazy that we all know.
Sure did. Yeah. That's a wonderful story.
Yeah, that is just fun.
And when I got back from Nashville and actually retold that story, no one believed me. And I said, look it up. Just look it up. I'm telling you, it's legit.
And if you Google Willie's version, it's actually really good. So you can
I'm sure. So we've been kind of circling around it. You guys have a really great gift shop in front of your museum. Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about that? You already did a little bit. You've got Patsy Cline merch, and you've got a lot of Johnny Cash merch, and there's some dog merch in there. I did see. I do remember.
That's so true. Yes, ma'am. So you walk into, the legends. So you have Johnny Cash section, Willie Nelson section, Waylon section, a Patsy section. So you have all the artists area when you first walk in, and then it goes into all of our Nashville t-shirts. We always have a sales table with markdowns, and the t-shirts, they start at $9.99 on the racks outside. And the only time they go up into the 30s is if it is an artist t-shirt that has cost us a lot, so we have to. But other than that, if it is a Nashville shirt, we have so many friends that make t-shirts for us. We're friends with all our vendors. They've also been in town doing this forever. And so we can sell t-shirts for $12, $14, $16, $18, $20. So that's the majority of our t-shirts are in that price range. And they're good quality. The one you're wearing, I've worn and washed that one, 50 times and worn it again lately. So
very, very nice, very soft, right out off the rack.
Yeah.
We have a Randy Travis section now. So he did the room next door, we are able to sell some of his merch. So we have tote bags and t-shirts and signed pictures, signed CDs, a signed guitar. So we have a little Randy section that is just there for them and for them to have their things there. So that's been a really fun addition. We have a huge Jack Daniel's section. We found the international customer just loves Jack Daniel's. They love everything about Tennessee whiskey. So
old number 5, man.
Yes. So we have a great partnership with our vendors at Jack Daniel's, and it's really fun to carry their things and watch the customers get so excited over the Jack Daniel's area. We do have a little dog section. We have dog toys that are beer cans, and we like to play into all that. We have a camping section because we do sit in front of a lot of campgrounds. So we have this fire starter that even if it's soaking wet, will start if your wood's all soaking wet, it will start your fire, along with camping signs and things for your camper and s'mores lights and stickers and all the fun things for camping. We have a music section. So we have purses shaped like a piano, purses shaped like a violin, purses shaped like a guitar, music note cookie cutters. I mean, anything that is random and fun that we can get at an affordable price, we try to find it and put in the different sections. We have a lot of local popcorn and peanut brittle and canned goods. And one of the biggest sellers are the jarred pickled eggs and jalapeno pickled eggs.
I remember that.
The garlic and the jarred garlic and some of these unique things that are pickled and garlicked. We sell a lot of that.
Can you get a cowboy hat there?
Yes, thank you for asking. We have a whole wall of cowboy hats. We love the cowboy hat wall. We have a great kids section with little trinkets and stuffed animals with Nashville t-shirts and toys and t-shirts that'll fit any age of a child. Or we have onesies that are like Folsom Prison, like a Johnny Cash onesie or a Patsy Cline onesie, up all night, performing all night, things like that. So we have a lot of fun with our gift shop. And our website, you can get to it through legendsofcountrymusic.com or through NashvilleSouvenirs.com. But either way that you go to our website, through the museum or through NashvilleSouvenirs.com, you can see a lot of what we have in the stores available online. We do free shipping for orders over $75. We ship everywhere in the U.S. Outside of the U.S. has gotten tricky lately, but we try our best.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
That's amazing.
Here, so. Although we do have a lot of listeners that are outside of the U.S., so
right.
Check with them anyway, because I'll bet Jenny can figure it out. It's not a problem.
Yeah, right? and I will point out that although I do focus on things that are very affordable, and I will not say if I did or didn't get this off that discount rack. But saying all that, they've got some when I talked about the hats, I mean, they got some very high quality hats.
You have no idea how hard it was for me to keep him from buying a hat.
The Jack Daniels
corn,
Jack Daniels drinkware and things like that. We're talking, you no matter what your station in life is, you'd be happy to have a hat from this place.
Absolutely.
A drinking gift set. Maybe you want to give to somebody that really appreciates number 5 for Christmas. They've got you covered with something really unique and special from Nashville. And it's just not.
You guys have socks too, I remember, right? You have some funny socks because my oldest son collects socks. I know it's just stupidest thing, but I find the most, anytime I go anywhere, I find the most unusual, weird socks. And so he did get a pair. See, I buy things for other people. He buys stuff for himself. But anyway, I got socks for him.
Some people know what they want. Some people have random thoughts. Today, I think we're trading places and she's having the random thoughts.
Just remember, it's okay. It's all right. All right. Anything else before we take a break? No?
I'll let you take a break.
Great. So we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back,
because we got to talk about the thing that
we're going to talk about insider tips.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Insider tips for your museum.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So don't leave. We'll be right back.
Okay.
If you're enjoying this episode and planning your next trip, don't forget to grab our free travel planner at thefunchasers.com.
It's the exact planner that we use to map out our affordable getaways, track expenses, and make the most out of every destination. And if you'd like ad-free episodes and bonus content, join us on Patreon for only $3 a month. Heck, that's less than a cup of coffee. Now, let's get back to the conversation. Hey, welcome back. We're with Jenny Webb from the Legends of Country Music Museum in Nashville, Tennessee. Jenny, thank you again for being here. I know it was kind of a time crunch for you today, but we appreciate you making time for us. And we are really getting close to the end of all of my zillions of questions. But before we do leave, I do want to ask you, if a visitor is coming to see your place, Is there a better time of the day to come versus another? Should they come in the morning? Should they come in the afternoon, before dinner? Tell me more.
Just shopping in the store. No, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week, 364 days out of the year. So, just shopping in the store. But if you want to see the museum, then I would just recommend, give yourself enough time to see it before we close at 7. So coming in prior to 5:30 to make sure you can do it as long as you want before we close at 7.
That's good advice.
Sure. So any other hidden gems that we forgot to ask you about?
A hidden gem in Music Valley, I always go to the mall. And I know that sounds silly because it's a mall and everyone has malls where they are, but ours is so unique. And we have a wax museum in there with all the country stars.
Yep.
And we have Nashville stores in there. We have different experiences and things like a whiskey store and a local winery in there. And moonshine. We have Tennessee moonshine tasting in the mall. So, and then a local barbecue. Like, you can have a whole experience in the mall. Even the airport. If somebody, one of your listeners is flying in, I almost give more time at the airport because when they did the remodel and the expansion, they made sure that all of the local greats are inside the museum. So you'll see the Musicians Hall of Fame has a place in there. The Country Music Hall of Fame has a store in there. Old Red, Blake Shelton's Bar and Grill is in there. Tootsie's is in there. There's a local breweries are in there. Local wineries are in there. All the local coffee shops are in there. Sometimes I'm like, drop me off early. I'm good. I'm just going to walk around with my cup of coffee and just look at everything for a few hours. So I'd say in the airport's right in our backyard. So between the airport, the mall, the Grand Ole Opry, I'm like, you could walk around and look at stuff without spending a lot of money for hours at any of the 3 places. As far as a hidden gem,
that's amazing.
Yeah, go ahead, Jenny.
As far as a hidden gem in our store, I think you touched on something I always forget about is the gifting and what a great place we are for everyone in your family and friends. Is if you're needing a gift for something or an occasion. You mentioned the socks, but we have the most hysterical little signs and bumper stickers and regular stickers and keychains and ornaments. And so it's not just a Nashville souvenir store, and it's not just T-shirts with the artists on it, but we really, if we see something funny and it makes me tickle, I'm like, I've got to have this for my customers. My customer's going to love this.
Absolutely.
We love to have fun and carry fun things. So I think those are the hidden gems that are hidden amongst the traditional souvenir things.
Yeah, that's cool. So you were saying about the mall. For anybody that's never been to Nashville, their mall is literally across the parking lot from the Grand Ole Opry. So if you go to the mall, you're going to go to the Opry. You can't miss it.
If you go to the Opry, might as well get to the mall because it needs a new name, like the greatest mall in the world. I mean, if you can get wine and whiskey.
And across the parking lot from the mall is the General Jackson, which is the showboat that if you want the more affordable version, you can look at weekdays, lunch times, take the lunch cruise. They have live music. They feed you. It goes down the river. You can see downtown from the boat. Paula Dean's restaurant is also in the parking lot. Good Southern meal. You can do family style and split it amongst people. So yeah, I just love that area too.
We got their sweet potato pie when we were there.
We just missed. The boat was sold out. Doggone it!
We had just back. We wanted to get on the General Jackson, but like John says, and so they were just starting to book for their Christmas river tours, but we were there on Veterans Day weekend, and so they were sold out. They were sold out by the time we realized what we wanted to do. So next time. See, that's number 2 on my list of things I need to do when I come back to Nashville.
Recap the gifting idea. When you're leading in November, you remember the Souvenirs shop for those really creative gift ideas, and the fact that you can do it online, and even from even not being in Nashville, you can still get that Nashville vibe and really come across as thoughtful person that did something besides just passing out another Amazon gift card.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. We love Amazon and they help sponsor our channel. But the other thing is the airport. Usually you go to the airport 1 or 2 hours ahead of time for security. Well, how about a little mental health shopping? Come there 5, 6 hours ahead and make a day out of it. Get the later flight, maybe the red eye, and spend your afternoon shopping at the airport so you don't miss a thing.
Sure.
That is definitely one of those things people might
That is
just
kind of cool.
fly by, literally.
So, I know we touched on this a little bit ago, but you have upcoming exhibits that'll be coming in the next year, and I know you said about Hee Haw. Is there anything in addition to that?
Every day we meet somebody cool who has a story or an item or is the daughter of someone or the grand. So when I was at the Bluebird 2 weeks ago as Tess Frizzell's guest, she was doing a writer's round with her boyfriend, Bobby Tomberlin, which is one of the greatest songwriters, in my opinion, of all times. Willie just cut more of his songs. And the third person in the writer's round was Waylon Payne.
Wow.
And I introduced myself to him and I'm like, have you been to the museum? And he's like, well, yeah, you have my parents' stuff there. And I look at Tess like, oh, wait, who's his parent? Like, as I'm learning so fast, all the things on turbo mode these past few years. And Tess is like, yeah, Sammy Smith and Jody Payne. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jody Payne. So, I feel like I know Willie's whole band, and now Jody was in his band all those years and now Waylon's in Willie's band. And then there was a story when we get over to Dottie West's case about Chris Christopherson writing Make It Through the Night for her and her saying, no, that's too sexy. So Sammy Smith ends up cutting it. And then she regrets that because she ended up leaning into the sexy. So anyways, so his whole family tree is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need you and your parents more stuff. And I know exactly where I'm going to put you. I know exactly how I'm going to tell the story. And things like that just, keep evolving the more I learn of how special all of these people are and the stories that are still left to tell. And so you just never know with us. If you follow us on social, who knows who you're going to see me post a picture with or say we're going to open an exhibit about and things like that, because I'm just dedicated to bringing as much of it to life as I can.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. You go to a museum and it's two-dimensional. When you go to a museum, you look at the stuff on the other side of the rope line and you're not allowed to touch it. You're not allowed to do this. And now granted, there's that too, but you guys have the stories that come with the artifacts. So it leaves nothing to the imagination. You can fill in the blanks if you want to, but you guys pull it out and bring it to life. And I know for me at least, if you see that jacket sitting there and he wore this on XYZ stage in 1951, it's like, whoa, that was an actual piece of clothing worn by Willie Nelson. That is the coolest thing that I think that you guys bring to the museum world. There's nothing like it.
I think about a few months ago, I went to Emmylou Harris does a fundraiser for her animal charity. Mm-hmm. And so me and a coworker went to check it out and I had no idea she'd be there. We just went to see what it was all about. And I had heard of her animal rescue and I had never been over there. And it was just a good excuse to explore that side of town. So I ended up getting Chris Stapleton's wife's jacket for myself and Sheryl Crow's shoes for myself that they had donated to raise money. So if you see me in shiny gold shoes, people are like, look at shoes. I'm like, thanks, they were Sheryl Crow's. I hope I meet her someday to say I love your shoes. They're comfortable. But we picked out some Emmylou stuff and we're like, well, I don't know, if and how and when it would fit into the museum. But this stuff is really cool and it's for charity. And we're holding this sparkly black jacket and Emmylou walks up out of nowhere and is like, are you going to get my Elvis jacket? And I said, well, Yes, I am. At this point, I'm saying yes because you're standing here with me, and this is incredible. And she starts telling us about, she calls it her Elvis jacket and why she calls it that and where she wore it. And it was her mom's favorite thing. So whenever her mom was going to be at the show, she'd wear the jacket. And it's just like, it's not just a piece of clothing.
Nope.
It's like meant something to these people. And, clothing gives us confidence and tells our story too. And I don't know. It's just, been really cool.
That's the thing, I mean, it's not the Smithsonian. It's a lot deeper than that. It's your museum is just it tells a story, and it made me feel like I belonged, and I'd never been there before. So I appreciated your museum, and I thank you for that, because it was just the coolest thing that we'd ever done. And so that was awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, it's just like Jim Croce saying his one album, Photographs and Memories. I mean, it's so much more than that. It's like some people will see something or taste something or get a smell in the air, and it just takes them back. And I think that the stories that people find at your museum are worth the trip. Yeah, and sure, somebody wants to just blow through there and all they see is a bunch of old clothes. Well, you get what you didn't look at anything.
You get what
you didn't
expect,
see anything.
right?
Yeah. It's like people that never look up and notice the blue sky too. But the stories are worth the trip.
Cool.
All on their own.
Makes me want to come back today, but I can't today. But I will be back. And we will tell you when we're coming. So, it'll be fun.
We'll schedule you a guided tour with the guitar player. Because a lot of times we'll do, these group tours, and they might be a school group or a group that might not know who everyone is. So they'll get over to Mae Axton's case, and the guitar player will say, well, do you recognize what she was famous for writing? Do, 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 and start playing Heartbreak Hotel, and everybody sings along. So the tour guides are very interactive and tell the story through music. Now, if I'm your tour guide, I'm just talking a lot, but the tour guides are very talented singer-songwriters here in town that are very passionate about the museum, and they bring the stories to life through guitar. So if we have advance notice and someone wants to book one of those guided tours, we're happy to do it. You just give us a call and we can book that in advance, and we can do groups up to 60, and the buses have plenty of places to park. So we love that.
I was going to ask you, because we do work with a bus company too. And it might be kind of fun for them to bring a tour to Nashville at some point. Yeah.
I will put it on their list.
Definitely put it on their list. So, all right. One more time. What's the website?
legendsofcountrymusic.com.
Okay. legendsofcountrymusic.com. Okay.
And NashvilleSouvenirs.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. And
please go visit Jenny at the Legends of Country Music Museum and buy some stuff from her store, because it's fun.
Fun.
And you can have a shirt just like John's. It'll be great.
That's great. Looks good.
Maybe I'll let you get a hat the next time we go down.
Really?
Maybe.
All right. Right.
Maybe. You wear it then.
I'll give you a discount.
Some boots too.
No, you're not getting boots. No.
I'll give you the thank you for having me on your podcast discount. Okay?
You're very welcome.
Hey, Jenny, well, do you have anything you want to add? I'll ask you that first.
I think we've covered it all.
It's been a lot.
I did not touch on my team. I guess I would add my team is incredible. So each person on my team has just a unique story. They're all friends. Chris, one of my cashiers who also does the singing tour guides, her and her husband have the Meltones, and they play every Friday and Saturday night at Caney Fork. They've done it for 15 years. So every single Friday and Saturday, the entire year, you will see Chris and her guitar, her husband with his giant bass, their friend on the fiddle. It is incredible. Cool. And she is just one of the coolest people you will talk to. When she gives a tour, she was actually neighbors with some of the people that are in the museum and has stories about the Wilburn brothers and Speck Rhodes, and just her stories are really cool in itself. I have a singer-songwriter who's just incredible. She's also a comic, and she's also an improv girl, and she does the tours as well, and she cashiers for me at both locations. And there's my mom, she works there. My uncle works there. My cousin works there. My stepson, even though my stepsons are all older now and doing their own thing, they still want to be part of it. So you might catch one of them on the weekend, just getting their beer money outside of their regular Monday through Friday. Or my youngest stepson, he's home from college right now. So it is truly, we are a family. I'm leaving out like 7 other people who are fabulous on the team, but we are a true family. We truly love to be there. And we like to also call ourselves like concierges. So we will tell you all the things I just talked to you about on Music Valley. We will stand there and say, okay, now park here and walk over there. And then here's a coupon for your coffee. And then you've got to see the show. Here's the coupon for the show. Like, we're all passionate about Music Valley. So we're very versed in it, and we can help guide you and give you tips and tricks and answer a lot of your questions that you might have. So.
And I can attest to what you're saying. When we were there, we felt very, very at home. Welcome. We did. We felt very welcome. Everybody was so friendly and so kind, and so we appreciate you. We appreciate your store, and it's hard having a retail shop in this world that we live in right now, and so you guys rock. You really do. So
you sure do.
We appreciate you being on our show, too. I hope we didn't make you too late so that you could get to your event, but we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Jenny Webb. Take care of yourself. And guys, go visit her website. And when you're in Nashville, go visit her store, Legends of Country Music Museum.
You won't miss out if you go there.
That's right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Tonight's Destination. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and follow wherever you watch or listen. Leave us a review. Hey, and don't forget to get your free travel planner from the Fun Chasers at thefunchasers.com.
And if you'd like early, ad-free episodes and bonus content, join us on Patreon. For only $3 a month, you get to see us mess up a lot. Yeah. If no one has told you yet this week, we really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, think about where you'll go next.
So, hey guys, we'll see you next time on Tonight's Destination. Remember, new episodes air every Saturday. And stick around for this next adventure that you can find right here